So, why do I create content? I have been creating content for 5 plus years, and here are the results. Everyone tells us that the key to winning in content is consistency. If you just stay at it for long enough, things will happen. And while it is easy for successful creators to look back and trace their journeys to being consistent, I would say for every successful, consistent content creator, there have been hundreds of, people who have been equally consistent, people who have been doing it day in and day out, and they haven't reached anywhere yet. Take my case, for example. I have been creating content for 6, 7 years now in different shapes and forms. I started with an online blog where I summarized articles written by people that I really admired. Then I partnered with a friend and published an online magazine. And then in college, I gathered some local sponsors and published a print magazine named Planet of Disobedience, or POD. In fact, one of my seniors, Shivanshu, recently visited our college, and he found that outside our college gate, street food vendors were using some of the pages of my magazine to serve vada pav, samosas, and stuff that they were selling. And for some reason, it was so fulfilling for me to know that okay, my magazine, my work, that the thing that I created was serving some purpose in the world still after like 4 or 5 years of it being done. But after publishing that magazine, I realized that the world of offline media is slowly dying out, and that is where I made the switch and made Planet of Disobedience, or Pod, an online community. So in the past 3 4 years, Pod has been an online, basically an Instagram page and a WhatsApp group. We have around 14 to 15K followers, and we have also made some little bit of money here and there. But it is nowhere enough to show for those 6 to 7 years of consistently producing content in different shapes and forms and spending a lot of time and money on the process. And by now, I'm convinced that I am not one of those rockstar creators like Ali Abdal, Ankur Wariku, or Matt Diawala. And I'm not going to blow up anytime soon. And I would be lying to say that I never think of quitting. I do once in a while. But I'm not going to quit yet, and I bet I'll never do. And here are three reasons why I have not stopped making content and I'll never do, and why you should start making content if you haven't already started. Number one is hustle luck. So I've said that I have not blown up yet. In fact, if I look back, I realize that every job, freelancing, or collaboration opportunity that I have gotten till date is directly or indirectly related to me creating content on the internet. Let's understand this with an example. So let's suppose you are a software development firm and you are looking for a new software engineer, and you have two candidates on your radar. Both are of equal capabilities, education, and experience. But the only difference is that one of them creates a video every week on their YouTube or LinkedIn channel talking about what is something new that they are learning in their field and teaching it to their audience. It does not matter if they have 43 followers or they have 43,000 of them. But just because they are putting themselves out, it becomes much more likely that you as a recruiter are going to hire them. Just the fact that someone can know who you are before they have even met you gives you a massive unfair advantage in every aspect of your life, not just finding a job. The second benefit is attracting my tribe. So, in the past 2 3 years, ever since my college ended, and then I left my full time job after 2 years after that, I would say I have not made even a single friend outside my content. So every single friend I have made till date in the past 2 3 years has been directly coming into my circle because of my content that I put out. What's funny is that many of my old friends have fallen off because now we have nothing more in common. And I've met so many friends through my content and my community, and they almost feel like we are childhood friends. We don't meet much, obviously, because we are online mostly. But whenever they need me, I'm there, and whenever I need them, they are there. We have long conversations, not just about our subject matter, but about life, career, relationships, you name it, right? They are spread in different cities and countries all over the world, so it gives me a perspective of how life is in different parts of the world. In fact, I moved to Bangalore last month, and one of the biggest reasons for that was because so many of the community members from Planet of Disobedience were from this city. The third benefits is refining my thoughts. So if we had a machine that transcribed everything, every thought that we thought in a particular day, very soon we would read it and realize that okay, our mind is a messy madness, right? It keeps on running and running and running without any purpose or any direction. But creating content forces you to bring some structure into your thinking. Let's say you have a channel or a page about filmmaking where you teach people about filmmaking, right? That channel would become a tool for you to bring some order into the random, pieces of information in your head, because you cannot present that messy transcription to the world. When you do that for some time, you realize that that structured way of thinking is not just limited to your subject matter. It spreads out in every area of your life. You become a much clearer thinker, and that affects every other area of your life, from your decision making to leadership to emotional well-being. In fact, if I had just one reason to keep creating content, it would just be that it helps me become a better thinker. Seth Godin, one of the greatest marketers and authors, who has been writing a blog post every single day for the past 10-15 years, says that he writes blog posts just because it helps him frame his thinking. And he says that the fact that he can reach out to millions of people in the process of him becoming a better thinker is just a cherry on the top. So I have talked about a lot of noble things about content creation, and which, by the way, all of them are true for me. But deep inside, I still hope that at some point something will happen and I will blow up and I'll experience all the life changing benefits of content creation. I'm creating this video to apply for Ankur Wariku's How to YouTube program, which he runs with his team. Ankur Wariku, if you don't know, is a person who talks about a lot of different things, and in past 1 or 2 years, his following and his subscribership has just skyrocketed. And I'm convinced that him and his team has figured out how to grow an audience. I applied to his first cohort few months ago and got rejected. So here I am applying for the second time. A part of me desperately wants to get into this program and experience the audience growth acceleration that I might if I followed through all these instructions and worked with this team and whatever it is, right? But deep down, I am not that excited about that quick jump that I might get as a part of this program, because I know I am into content creation for life.